What's up, guys? Good morning or afternoon, wherever you are, evening. Today, I wanted to answer like a specific question that someone asked me. I thought it was a really good question. They asked me, how do I define success? And I also wanted to add on a premise to that because someone brought up a very interesting point to me today. They just made me think about the way that people define words outside of what the definition of them actually are, because a lot of times when people say I want to be great or I want to be good, and when you really break down what is great and what is good, it really forces you to analyze, wait, what's the opposite? What's the polar opposite? And what's the neutral? And what is it I'm truly seeking? And you realize, hold on, I'm seeking a benchmark that's always going to be moved. That's another story for a whole other day. But today we're going to focus on success. So to me, to be honest, what is success? I think first you have to think about the definition of that word, success. That's first. Success means what? I mean, I don't know what Merriam-Webster says, but I'm sure it's like achieving one's goals or some type of generic flip of that, right? So let's start there. Success is achieving something that which one sets upon to do, right? In completion, in totality, in full and completeness. So if one sets to do nothing, one could literally be considered a success because he's set to do nothing and he completely did nothing. Now, even if one, this is really important, this is where the psychology of the shit happens in the subconscious. Even if one conspires within himself to seek nothing subconsciously and seeks nothing, he still is being successful at seeking nothing. So when we think of terms of success, we're just thinking in terms of completing whatever you set forward to do. Success is not like we like to view success here in America particularly, or just across the globe, in measurements of time and moment. Remember, because everything we do here, it has to, for us, unless we raise our level of consciousness, the only way that things make sense here is if we put it within a time frame where we have to connect it to a moment, a paper, a building, or something, a connection, right? So the only way that we can say, or we can comfortably say without any doubt, hey, I am successful, is to connect it to a time or a moment or an instance. You see? Instead of us saying, I am successful because I can set forth a mission or a goal and accomplish it in totality and completion, we say we're successful when we complete the mission, because that's the only way we can refer to the instance in our mind of success. But in theory, we were already successful when we conceived the thought, because we knew that this thought being completed was nothing more than a mere commitment of energy, time, and resources and connections. You hear me? You listen very closely to my words. We're creating this reality. We are creating this successfulness that you are creating who you are. You are creating those around you. You have to control this. When you control this, I'm telling you, like, this shit is simple. I've changed my life through very simple means. I've changed my life by completely controlling this. No man is allowed to control what I think in this. You only have this. You own nothing more in life. What you came in this world with was this brain, this silicone body, this some people in different conspiracy sectors may call it a wet tech. This wet tech stays here. But that energy that's in your subconscious that they can't get out, that they can't figure out what it is, that they want to call radiant energy because they can't classify it, that is you, and that's all you own, and it's what you think and believe and breathe and do. And not no man change how you govern that. You own it. It's yours. I shouldn't be able to change it. And lastly, I'll say one last thing, and this is very important. In this discourse that I had with this person earlier about good and great, I proposed to this person a very legitimate premise. I said, okay, this person said, I don't want to be good. I would like to be great. And when you think about the way that shit comes off your fucking tongue, what is good and what is great Is great not more than a mere shade of good? What is good? Right? So you have to, and I challenged this person to define it, and they did point out some specific perimeters and whatnot. But most people don't have specific perimeters. If they say I want to be great. Great at what? What's bad? What's the opposite? What's the failure? There are no such things as failure. That's what I talked about yesterday. There is no such thing. The reality is that the way that we feel, the way that we sense, and the way that we classify these things are particularly classified this way because we have to assign them a moment in time connection so that we can refer to them again. And what this has done is fuck us up. It's fucked us up. It's created this place where, because of the fight and flight mechanisms in our brain, we automatically choose between two things to assign to a moment in time connection. Fight or flight, bad or good, evil or good. Evil or good, or 1 or 0, true or false, negative or positive. But the reality is that the God, the ultimate mind that created this shit, created it neutral. Created it to be filled truthfully with 0 energy that is everything. It's the potentiality of evil, but not the conception of it. You know, when you think about the way electricity works, and this is the last one because I'm definitely going on a tangent, and this is too deep. This is more the science part, and I guess I should start entering into the science because I'm going to explain why I end up creating a jewelry company full of stones. But anyways, when you get into I lost my fucking point. When you get into the science of it, you think about electricity and the way that AC current swings. AC current kind of goes like a loop. You know, it kind of swings up and down. And the way that we measure AC current is through what's called waveforms. And that waveform, that electrical current has to swing up and it has to swing down and reach a certain peak up and a certain peak down before that waveform is completed. And I say all of that to say, in the middle exists what God created. On the other side of the spectrum, you have a full negative potentiality, you have a full positive potentiality, and where you lay depends solely upon your mind and what the light shines upon. And that's all I'm gonna say. And those who are listening will hear. And I hope you guys have a wonderful fucking blessed day. I'm gonna take a vape before I roll out. Y'all know it's like tradition. I got a vape in here. You know, I'm definitely for the proponents of those who quit cigarettes. I don't think nicotine is such a bad thing like they want us to make it seem. If you guys do your research, you never find any real conclusive studies on nicotine being any more dangerous than any chemicals like caffeine or something like that. So anyways, one vape for the one time. Bless up, here are my shameless plugs. If you're interested in vape, I do have vape devices and juice. You go to my bio, Vape Right, you can click that shit. And then my music, man, I'm still releasing all my music for the last 7 years. I'm going through my hard drive. It's very emotional music. There's one particular song I would love for you guys to check out, just give me your feedback on. It's very personal. It's called Letters to My Unborn, Dear Rashawn. And it's a song about my ex-girlfriend and my she had an abortion, and it's the first abortion I had in my entire life. And I've only had 2. I've only had 2 and 1 I didn't even know about. But that one, it really changed what I felt about how life starts. You know, I didn't have a religious background. I don't necessarily come from any religious background like that. I was a tattoo artist for 6.5 years. I lived a pretty reckless party life, not really doing anything too out of line. But when that baby was taken, it made me think, was that a life? And did I just play a part in taking it? And I don't mean to get all somber. It's very deep. It's very deep because